Yo guys, what's up? Shadow here. Welcome back to Space Engineers. So, I've just checked today. The Space Engineers team has done another public test today, if I've seen this correctly. They've now done this for like 3 straight weeks, which I find very interesting. Because, you know, that really allows for the players to give them like feedback in a very short-term fashion. Which must be tremendously useful, don't you think? I mean, they should keep this up, you know? Before they had, like, weekly releases, and basically they just pushed stuff out, and then people just played it, gave them feedback, and then they had to fix things. And it's actually, it's kind of the same now, almost, at least for the last few weeks, that they had public tests, and then you give them feedback, and then they fix things. Although, to be fair, it's not quite the same thing. I suppose it's easier for them to just set up a server with the new code than to just roll the code out to all people. Well, I'm not 100% sure on that, but could be. Alright, let's start. Interior decoration right here. Actually, this looks so cool. You know, having the sun shine in from this angle. Oh, this is cool. I like that. Looks really nice. So this is that one room that I thought that could become maybe a room with hyperdrives in it. You know, if we should ever want to put hyperdrives on the ship, then this might be the room to do it, right? Also, let's see, we need construction components, motors, and bulletproof glass, I think. Sure. Let me get some of that. We might also want to try to connect the ship again afterwards with the connector, because last time that didn't really work. I'm not quite sure why it didn't work, but let's see, is that all we need? Not quite sure. That's all. Although we need a lot of bulletproof glass for all these doors. So we want to get some more of that, actually. But yeah, it's... last time it really bugged out, or it was before last time, actually. It was the episode before last time. Our station started to like drift off into space for some reason when it was connected. And I'm not quite sure why that was. But, yeah, it was kind of weird. So, we might want to try to connect it again afterwards, but... You know, for now, it's okay to do it the way I do it right now, I think. There we go. Now we have enough construction components. So, as I also said before, I want to be a little bit more organized this time while building. So, doing things like naming all the lights in a room one way, so I can identify which lights are which, you know, if I want to turn them off or on, or if some of them are damaged and whatnot. So, let me just, I think this room is big enough so we can make like a 2-column of lights here. Also, let me put them here and here, and then I'm not quite sure about the, oh, whoops, the distance between the lights. You know, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's see how this goes. 1, 2, 3. If this will work out. 2, 3. No, it won't. It's imperfect. But let's do it from this side as well. 1, 2, 3. I guess in the middle they will kind of overlap or whatever, but it will work. 1, 2, 3. There. Okay, there's only like a one. That's kind of weird though. Having a gap here? No, that makes no sense. 1, 2, 3. This is very weird. This is like 1, 2, gap, 1, 2. This is super weird to have to... You know, it works. It's perfectly aligned with this, but it's not really aligned that way. But I think that's okay. We can work with that. I want things to be symmetrical, but I will not obsess so far that I'm now going to redesign the whole ship because of that. So it's gonna be a-okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Okay. So let's actually turn off the lights for a moment so we can see how well or unwell this is illuminated. It's not very good right now. So far we only have sunlight, pretty much. And you know, the thing is that the lights are something that will make a ship look cool, in my opinion. You know, you have a well-lit ship, or sometimes it's actually cooler to have a room that is not as well lit, or maybe in its very specific color. For example, the cockpit, or maybe the machine room, having that lit in maybe a red kind of color tone or something like that can make a ship look really cool in that way, you know? So these lights, obviously they're not strong enough, and now we have to, or I want to name these lights. Because right now I think there shouldn't be any more lights than the one we have put on right now, right? So how many are those? That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 lights, supposedly. Let's see if that's correct. Otherwise it would mean that we have lights somewhere else. That's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13? 14. There we go. So that's right. Okay, so we're gonna name all of these. This is interior, or let's just call them light. What is this? This is upper observation deck. I think that's a appropriate name for now. And I don't think you can name several things the same way. You have to do this, right? You cannot rename all of those at once, which is kind of annoying. I know there is grouping and whatnot. I could very well do this. I know. But the thing is, if I put then on more lights afterwards, sometimes it's very hard to tell where the old lights start and where the new ones begin without doing some researching every time. So I like to rename them all like that. And then just for configuration, I can use the groups, which is nice, I guess. Let's see, I think about 8-meter radius is sufficient. I mostly do not play with these values, the fall off and stuff like that. I leave those most of the time. I think 1 is standard, right? And we don't want the blinking. There we go. So we have a nicely lit room here. And as I said, there might be more things in here later on. Also the oh yeah, the airlock, right, there will be lights in here as well, because we made the decision to keep a 1 block gap in between, which I think is a good decision. Of course, these are not the most sufficient the most technically interesting airlocks. They're only double doors, basically. You can do all these airlocks with the crazy depressurizing mechanisms and whatnot, but that looks weird. We don't have enough space for that right here, so for me this is more than enough. And I don't think we need to change the intensity of these lights. I just want to see how this looks. I think this looks fine, right? From a... yeah, that totally looks fine. Also, we have to think about gravity generators, right? In a big ship like that, a gravity generator might be a very good idea. So, it's something to think about. Oh, and also, let's be vigilant here and rename these lights as well. So these will be light airlock. Upper observation. That will be enough for me to know what it is. Because obviously we also have airlocks in the front with the cockpit. There we go. Okay. So let me get some metal grids. That's not enough. There we go. And actually get this thing going. There we go. So, the thing that bugs me a lot of the time with space engineers is I have a sense for decorating things. I really like to do that. And for example, in early Minecraft, you know, when there was no... I mean, even today there's not much of decoration, but back then, you know, you would put the backwards stairs on the floor and pretend them to be tables, and then the normal stairs next to them pretending to be chairs. And the problem is in Space Engineers, at least in basic Space Engineers, you cannot really make up a lot of decorations, sadly. So what I want to do at least here is this. I want to place some seats, basically. And I want to place those, you know, in front of the windows, which is where you would sit, you know, watch out at the space, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's like the minimum I want to do. And I know there's a lot of good mods with interesting decorations, from like soda selling, like these soda selling machines, you know, arcades, toiletries, all interesting decoration. There's also like packs that give you decoration for cargo holds, like crates and whatnot, with actually functioning ports, you know, so you can connect them to an actual cargo system, which I like. But there's just not enough stuff like that, and I know it doesn't really matter because this is a game focused on like engineering and creation, solving problems with engineering, and therefore decoration is just a, you know, like side dressing for that, and that's why there's not more of these blocks, I suppose. But sometimes it really bugs me, because you create these grand interiors and then you basically don't have anything to fill them with. So yeah, that's kind of sad, I suppose, but at least let me, you know, oh god, construction components, yeah, missing everything, I see. So at least that we're gonna do. And right now, I don't wanna add mods now to change up the whole way we're playing. I would find that a bit weird. I think if we just added mods now just for the sake of decorating stuff. I don't know. Also, it obviously makes the game a bit more unstable and you have to be very careful. So this is what it is for now. Oh, of course, we're running out of something. Oh, fucking course, lad. Okay. I always have to be careful to start braking early enough so I don't fly face first into the doorway there. Cool, so yeah, now you can just sit here and enjoy the view. You know, technically I would do a lot more decorations here if I could. For example, I would make this like a laundry room with tables, maybe some sofas, a pool table, some arcade machines. That would be awesome. This would be perfect room for that. Okay. So now to basically finish this room, we're gonna plonk down a door here. There we go. This basically will section off this whole part of the station, like so. And now, yeah, there we go. This is now a airtight space. Wonderful. One thing I might do is like a control panel. Actually, let me do that real quick. That might be interesting. Oh, no, not a control panel, this one. Buttons. Because there might be situations, you know, where you want to like open all the doors basically at once or stuff like... Oh, that was a bit laggy. You know, basically I want to have open all the outer doors, open all the inner doors, and stuff like that. We can put that on these panels. And I think that would be kind of interesting, but for that, of course, you have to, like, name all these doors. This is door, or let's call them airlock, outer, or airlock, upper, observation, outer door. God, these are fucking long names. I know. Not very descriptive, or actually too descriptive in that case, rather. And then we'll do the same for these. Yeah. And so, as you can see, we're not doing just interior decoration. We're also doing a bit of like maintenance, system, administrational stuff. So we can handle the ship a little bit better. There we go. So now, let me do this real quick. Now we can group these. And actually, let's just call this group O upper UO in. No, outer door. You will see why in a second. Because basically, it's gonna be, if it has such a long name like this. And you do, wait, let me toggle. There we go. It's much more easy readable like this. If it's such a long name, it's super annoying to read. So now, wait. This door is... Oh, have I... Oh, wait, I used the wrong command. This is, I think, toggle block on and off, right? Yeah. It's open, close. That's what I wanted. So this, the first one is a toggle, right? So right now, this toggle toggles all the doors open. And boom. All doors closed. Neat. This is kind of cool. Then the next thing I want to do is basically just the command to close all doors. So just in case some are open and some are closed, and then you toggle them, they switch like that. So you want to have one command to kind of reset them to a closed state. And then the next thing we do is basically we're gonna... do we have other slide doors? Oh, we have. So we actually have to name these here manually as well. We cannot do them over the control panel. Fine. Let's do that. Inner door. Let's copy that and slap that all over the place here. There we go. Go. Okay, now we also put these. Yeah. So this is also upper observation, inner door. Perfect. And now we can put the same thing here. Outer door, inner door, with the toggle, and over here with the closing command. Because right now, you see, if I toggle this, all doors are on different states. So, like this, I can reset it and then... Cool! So I think the base state would be all doors open, right? And then if you go out, you just basically do that. Go out into the open, and then if somebody's inside, you can just close all the doors, and then the ship is fine. Cool. So we finished this deck. Well, not quite actually, but let me get to the oxygen real quick. Ooh, that was almost too far. Let me get my fix of oxygen. There's one more thing I want to do, but I need to see what kind of material we need for that. It's wanna add an LCD screen, or rather some LCD screens, a few of them. Let me get in there again, because that's also a thing that can make a ship look a bit more lively and a bit more real if things are actually marked. You know, for you, the creator, it's often very easy to know where anything is, but not for everybody, so I think this is the right way, right? This thing marks where the lower part of the screen is, if I'm not mistaken, so this should be a-okay. So we're gonna have them all over the place, like that. Yes, perfect. Okay, so let's grab these 4 first. LCD. We're gonna name most of these things. It's so much easier if they are. Airlock. Let's just do it like that with the acronyms and stuff like that. It's easier to manage that way. And now, can we all manage them at the same time? Show text on screen, yes, but we cannot manage the text of all of them at the same time. So this is just gonna be Airlock. That's all that's gonna say, basically. And of course, I'm gonna copy that for every one of these. And now we have to, first of all, the font size, because there we go. This is a big text, or doesn't take up much space, so we can make the text bigger. And there we go. Now, do we want to make it like colored screen? I don't know. No. No, a black screen is actually okay. Black screen is okay. The text could be red, you know? Would fit with our red-white painting scheme, right? So, boom! Airlock! Yeah, looks already a little bit more authentic, doesn't it? Authentic. I don't know authentic to what, but it looks a little bit more realistic, more believable, I think is the best word. And here this is gonna be Battle Bridge. I think that's how you would in German you would write this as one word, Kampfbrücke or something like that, because Germans have the habit of stitching words together, which is super annoying. If you're German and you're trying to do to spell certain words in English, you want to write them together, but as soon as you do, you realize, goddamn, that looks so stupid. It just doesn't fit very well. So yeah. Go. Battle Bridge. Cool. So this room is officially done, I think. Let me move on to the Battle Bridge. For example, I talked about before about the lights. This is a room where I think red lights could make this scene so much cooler, right? So I think that's actually what we're gonna do. And we're gonna put lights like every 2 blocks, because this is how the interior is designed anyway, with these switching architectural features here. Do we even call this architectural architecture if you're speaking about the design of a ship? Does it? I suppose this has a different name if you're talking about the design of a ship. Then it's not architecture, or is it? Or am I mistaken? Can you speak about ship architecture? Or maybe it's like space aeronautics or something. I don't know. I'm sure it has some kind of word to describe what I mean. Alright. So first off, we're gonna name all of these lights again, because we are tidy and we want our ship to be properly named and everything. So this is gonna be a light Battle Bridge. See, again, I wanted to write it together because I'm German native speaking. Battle Bridge, and there we go. Gonna put that in for all the lights. There we go. make a group out of it. And now, boom, there we go, red light. And of course we want to increase the radius a little bit. Maybe 6. The thing is, you don't want to make it too big, because there is a problem with the lighting system in Space Engineer sometimes, that if you make it too big, the radius, then it can happen that if it's too big, actually I can try to show you, sometimes the light like bleeds through the wall, which is super annoying. Let me have it at 6 meters. See, that's what I mean. This looks silly. I think, you know, this can look very cool, although this is a bit too red for me now. But as soon as it starts bleeding through the walls, it kind of looks stupid and very, very unrealistic. It takes you out of the game, you know. So, rather turn it down. Actually, I think we can keep it on like 10 or something, and it won't bleed through. No, it won't. Cool. Yeah, this is where battle is done. Although now, see, now it bleeds through the outer edge, which is also not very cool. So I think we'll actually reduce it back to, I think 6 it was. 6 was... Yeah, okay, it still bleeds through there at the one edge. You might see it there at the front slope there, where the battle bridge goes over into the cockpit. It's not cool, but I think it's a necessary evil, most likely. So, I think that works, right? So, of course, now we also want to plug down an LCD here as well. Basically informing us that we're going to the observation deck, upper observation deck or something. Also, I just reminded me that I should rename the other LCD as well. This one to... See, I'm already making mistakes. LCD... UO, and then 2 battle. Or let's just call it BB, Battle Bridge. There we go. And this one obviously will be the other way around. This is gonna be LCD BB to upper observation. Cool. And this is obviously going to be called upper observation deck. Observation deck in German also would be one word. If you were to write it like Observationsdeck. You would write that as one word. That's just it's just a German thing. And I want to do it every time. It's just how it goes. This is kind of annoying. That is, it's at the upper edge now. That kind of looks weird. Can I, if I make a line break here? Oh, okay, no, that looks silly. Yeah, that's very silly actually. Let's undo that again. Fine, it's gonna be a little bit on the upper edge of the LCD, but that's fine. It's fine. Everything is good. Okay, let's finish this off by putting down a door down here. Oh, and also LCD as well. Now this is gonna be called LCD Battle Bridge to Cockpit, CP. Also capture point or whatever. I think this is actually, CP would not be a good acronym because that can stand for so many things. Although BB, isn't BB like in Navy language, isn't that battleship? Because the acronyms for the ship classes are really weird. I think BB is like battleship, and there's like CL, which is light cruiser. Well, I guess that one makes sense. It's like cruiser light or something like that. I don't know. So it's just cockpit. Although that's a word that is written together, right? I think it is. It's supposed to be. Oh well. Boom. And door. And the door is going to go Right here. And with that, the battle bridge is complete as well. Now, what we will have to do at one point, if we really want to make it nice and tidy, is going to hook up these control stations, either with all of the defensive turrets or with certain defensive turrets. For example, this station that I'm on right now, which is on... Let's see. This is on this side. This station, for example, will be like hooked up to from our viewpoint, the leftmost missile launcher turret. The problem with that is... No, wait, actually, we have exactly 4. So that's something we should do at one point, but for that I will have to go outside and then rename every turret by hand, so we can really figure out which turret is which. So we'll have to name them like left 1, 2, 3, and 4, right 1, 2, 3, and 4, so we can really figure out which one belongs to which. But yeah, I think that's enough for today. Some good interior decorations. Next time we're gonna go into the cockpit. Gonna do some lighting there, and maybe in the cockpit we'll also have some red lighting to set the mood when you're flying, you know? Maybe also some blinking lights. That could actually also be cool, that from the cockpit, you know, if you go into battle, maybe I'll do that you can press a button and then the lights on the battle bridge will start blinking, you know, to indicate like a battle situation. That would be kind of neat, right? So yeah, let me do screenshot time, obviously, like standard thing. This is cool. I like it. That's actually one of the parts I really dig about Space Engineers, the decoration. Even though you cannot do much, you can just make, you know, things that give your ship a little bit more of a kick to make it look cool, right? So I really dig that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.